this floor. I was just looking at my dates. It was put down on Thursday the 8th. And so, which would leave us expecting cabinets on the 9th or the Monday after, 12th. And here we are on the 17th. And that's the way it's been. I also looked at the dates on the building permit. Now, the engineer signed off on his plans about the 12th, I guess. It was December of 2022. And the building department signed off about the 28th of December. And it just reminded me of that, because we're, you naturally, after 4 months, then for 5 months, we're anxious to see some construction. And they get the plans, and I remember that specifically. Why is it taking them 2 weeks, to get a permit? Anyway, the building department doesn't do that. I talked to the chief building inspector when he come by to look at this unit next door. And so that was just emblematic of this company. I mean, I remember also toward the beginning of the construction phase, repeatedly asking the project manager, let's finish filling out the contract. And just dead air. I mean, mumbling and this type of thing. And also the building schedule. Now we got to do a building schedule. We got to do a bar chart, simple bar chart building schedule. And you get that mumbling and dead air and that type of thing. And so now here we are months and months later, and they won't continue on like that. And I said, well, I'm through with that. You can forget about it. Get the cabinets. That's it. Put the floor down, trim the plumbing. Boy, crazy time. They don't communicate nothing. You don't know why the cabinets aren't here. Some story. Should have been done end of February. End of February, tell you the God's honest truth. It's now, what did I say? I said it was June 17th, something like that. And furthermore, my two sisters and one brother have been to the Paul Davis Restoration storage facility in Melbourne, Florida. And I guess it's their storage facility. I was talking about the rent. And I went back and looked at some more of my documentation. And in September, latter part of September 2022, excuse me, I contacted the engineer that was doing our drawings for Paul Davis Restoration of Daytona. Just was anxious that, first of all, about the firewall. I thought the block could have been salvaged, but once they got into it, they had to take it almost all the way down. But he said, no, too much. You got to, take that at face value. And also the trusses. I said, can we hand frame the trusses? Because they say a small order like that, you're going to wait 6 months. And wanted to avoid that. Yeah, he said, yeah, Paul, their project manager mentioned that to him. And so we went back and forth a couple times. He said, I will have these plans 100% complete middle of next week, which was late September 2022. His signature showed up on the set we have on the job site December the 12th, 2022, and the building permit appears to have been issued December 28th, 2022. So there you go. From the middle of next week in late September to 2.5 months later, and then 3 months later for the building permit. And you have to wonder, well, what the hell happened in that time? You know, it almost seems, my opinion, that Paul Davis Restoration slow walked. I mean, just put the damn brakes, just threw a sea anchor out on everything. And I have to assume that part of it is the thinnest project management and supervision, and then the revenue for the storage facility. And I think, how absolutely abusive could you possibly be? How absolutely abusive could you possibly be? And when his wife called my sister crying, said, "My husband is a man of integrity." And I'm thinking, who says that? All right, well, more shall be revealed, I suppose. I was trying to remember myself what I was doing from the late September to the time the permit got in, and I was living in Sarasota because me and my elderly mother. My mother was older than I am, and we're living in Sarasota with at our sister at her daughter's houses. Mother had her stroke on October the 24th, died 2.5 weeks later on November the 10th, and the funeral took us through the day before Thanksgiving, the burial. So I stayed out at our forest property after everybody had gone home, because I knew I needed to come over here to Ormond Beach and not go right away back to Sarasota. So anyway, again, you think that since you're paying 20% that somebody's taking care of business, and it just turned out not to be the case.